In today's episode, we're diving into the incredible story of Linda Saenz, the founder of Classe Dance Company. Linda shares how she turned her love for dance into a thriving community, overcame challenges, and discovered the healing power of pursuing her passion. This episode is for you if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or if you just have a dream that you have yet to start or finish. This is the episode for you. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 52, The Dance of Resilience, how Linda Saenz built her dream company. Welcome to Healing with Haley. I'm your coach, Haley Kirk. On this podcast, we dive into ways to heal, embrace, and truly love our lives. Here's my belief. So much of our suffering comes from what we believe. I'm here to help you understand your mind and question those thoughts to start your healing journey. Ready to get started? Let's go. Welcome, podcasters. I have my amazing friend Linda Saenz here from Classe Dance Academy. Say hello.
Hola, hello.
So I brought Linda Saenz on here because, hello, it's Linda Saenz, and she's a badass. And to me, you've always been, Linda, like the type of person who just goes after what they want, like with this tenacity and vigor, and like no one can get in my way. And I admire that so much in you. I really do. I admire it. It's so awesome. But at the same time, because we worked together I was a part of your team and I was a part of your school. And I loved how much you also received feedback and you would take it in and you would implement it. I felt like that was such a great leadership skill where you were open to it. Because a lot of people that lead aren't like open to feedback. So there's so much I admire in you.
Oh, thank you, Haley. Thank you so much. And that actually is true. And I didn't realize that until this year that I actually fight for what I want. I thought I honestly, before 2024, I was just like focused on work on my vision, right? But honestly, this year I'm like, yeah, I fight with everybody. Now I'm getting on my way. If I'm completely sure about what I want, I have this skill, like, boom, just walk, move forward, move on. Yeah, yes, I am like that. I don't really recognize it. Thank you so much, Haley. Thank you so much for all your comments, positive comments.
Yeah, of course. So I want to hear the origin story. I want to know the inception, the birth of Class A Dance Academy and the whole thing. I want to know every detail. So floor is yours.
Ah, okay. A ver, I'm going to start from the comment that you made about feedback. Yeah, I believe, by the way, let's start saying to the people who is listening that I'm working on my English, still working. Okay,
Yeah.
so be patient, okay?
You're doing
um,
amazing.
Clase grew up so much because what you just said. I love to learn, and even I'm the instructor. I think I learn a lot from my own students because they provide me some experiences. So and the feedback is super important for me. So everything that the people ask in classes or feedback in general, I think for me it's super important, and I think I also transmit that to my instructors today, the instructors that work at Class A too. So everybody, the whole team is always pay attention to the feedback. I think is the most important thing, and that's something that help us to grow so much, you know. Because at the end of the day, the company is made to create in space for all our students, right? And that space has to be also made according what our students need. And if we don't listen to them, how are we going to grow, right? So Yeah, so basically, I think it's one of the main values from the whole Classe team, listening to the people. Yes, learn from the feedback. Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
Yeah,
see,
so take us back. Where did the where did the name Classe come from? What made you want to open up your own dance company?
uh, it's crazy because in 2015, I never wanted to live in the US. Let's start from it.
What?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to visit the US since I'm 12 years old because in every vacation my father used to send me here to just have my summer break here in the US. And then I always miss my country because South America, North America is a little bit different, right?
It is,
And
yeah.
a little bit too much. Entonces, so I never wanted to actually move to the US, but one time in 2015, I believe, yes, I came to help one of my dance friends in one of his classes, and people liked the way that I was connecting in the class and teaching. And at that time, I didn't speak English at all. Now I'm improving, but at that time, not even hello. So I don't know how they like it, but the thing is, my classes, to make it short, um, my classes started to be full, so I was saw that people appreciate the way that I was teaching, and they asked me questions. They were interested in my classes every time that I open a class. And at that time, I had a dance partner. His name is Aldo Ortega. He used to be my dance partner. So we used to do workshops in different dance studios. We rent, and then the classes were full. So that made me think like, okay, you can move to the US. You can do something with dancing. So I decided to move. I'm an administrator of international business in my country. I couldn't work on my career in the US, so I was fully focused on a business, to build a business here after I created these workshops. So I used the knowledge that I had to actually build a company here, and it's how we started Classe, right? Thanks God, the people like really appreciate the way that we teach since the beginning. And we started a team. I remember a yeah team. No group classes, no, not yet. So team, just only dance team. We used to practice in a gym 2016 at the time, yes, and we call it Classe Dance Company, yes, because before I used to do just workshops, but no name, no nothing, just bachata, salsa classes, like random things, right? But then it was in 2015. In 2016, because the classes were full, and the people were asking me for in a specific place to do my classes, not like moving around. So I was thinking, okay, we need a place for us, we need a name for what we are doing. Okay, let me think about it. And then I created Classe Dance Company, putting dancers together to create a store. And I created my first team in 2016. It was in a gym, though, in a gym. We used to practice in a gym. And then I created the studio, the first studio of Classe in my garage. It was in 2017, I believe. Uh-huh. And we chose the name Classe because in the beginning, I wanted to do only ladies styling classes. And classe comes from a French word that is related to classy lady, right? So, and that's why I chose the name. But then my partner work classes were full, and then the team also, we also had male dancers, so we couldn't change the name, and the classes stay there, right? um yeah, and it's how I created Classe, basically, like from random workshops in different studios to finally find a name for the company. We created a first team. Then we started classes in our first studio in the garage, and then the rest. we were bigger and bigger and bigger. We went to different events, congresses. People started to contact us. We built good social dancers, and then here we are.
Wow,
Yeah, to
that's
make it shorter,
amazing. Yeah.
no? Mm.
So when in at the beginning, it was kind of it sounded like you were just kind of going with the flow and kind of like, oh, this is a direction I could take dance. So what has dance meant for you on a personal level?
Oh, everything, everything. Dancing for me is such important. Is my everything today, right? It's my everything. It's my life in like in every way. Um, So, I mean, I want to share something personal with you. So, right, to when I decided to come, when I wanted to visit the US in 2015 to help this friend with his dance classes, right? I decided to visit the US because I was struggling with a personal things in Peru. Like had I suffered physical and emotional abuse from my ex-partner. So I was in the middle of it. He was harassing me. I had to leave the country because he was abused in every way. So when I started dancing at that time, and I saw that people appreciate what I did, what I used to do in the classes, and then we grew as I was telling you. I felt like I was a hope for me. So dancing for me was my basically that my hope and become my life. Every time that I felt under pressure, depressed for whatever personal things that I was living at that time, I think dancing was there to like literally lift me up. So for me, dancing is a safe space where I feel um, encouraged, feel supported. I feel like I have a hope. So yeah, dancing for me is everything. And actually, that's one of the reasons also that I created Classe, because I wanted to create a safe, supportive community where the people feel free to express themselves through dancing, where people feel free to just be themselves, and whenever they feel like overwhelming out there in their daily activities, no, they find dance in Alcance like a place where they can actually feel, yeah, better, as I did. So dancing for me is everything. Classe as well. I gave my everything to Classe. I started this journey when I was 23 years old. I'm 33 years old. It's already 10 years, and even today, sometimes people ask me like, hey, Linda, what's your social life? Classe. What's your professional life? Classe. What's da da da? Classe. So my everything is Classe. Dancing for me is class. Dancing for me is my everything, my life in
Yeah.
every way. So because the reasons that I share with you, yeah.
And so in if you don't mind if I keep asking about the personal story you related to us, were you dancing before or was it kind of like in the midst of that relationship that's when you started dancing or was dancing like even an earlier part of your life?
No, I was dancing since I'm a kid. I love to dance. Yeah,
Oh,
I
got
always
it.
want to love dancing. I dance since I'm a chiquitita, since I'm a baby. But when I was 12 years old, I was invited to take it more seriously, right? I started with ballroom, then I went to ballet, jazz, a little bit of it. More it was ballroom, then 17 years old. Oh no, actually 15, sorry, salsa. And bachata, actually, I started my bachata journey when I created Classe. So 10 years ago, nine
Wow.
years ago, 10 years, 9 years.
So when you came to help your friend, it was a salsa and bachata class,
Yeah,
but you
yes,
hadn't you hadn't really trained, you would say, in bachata.
bachata. Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing. So
yeah,
you were
only
more of
salsa.
like a ballroom salsera.
I was a ballroom salsera, yes.
Wow. Oh, I didn't
Ballroom
know that.
salsera, locking my knees.
You would
and
lock
like
your knees.
locking my knees, turning like super loud. Yeah, and yeah, it was completely different, right? Um,
Did you do my friend, my best friend, her daughter's Peruvian. It's so funny because she looks like really white like me, and her husband is like super like Peruvian and gorgeous. And her daughter has like this long, beautiful black hair, and everyone's like, "That's your daughter?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's my baby." But she teaches her daughter traditional Peruvian dances. Is that something you grew up doing?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Cool.
I was part of one of the best folklore teams in Peru.
Oh
You
my
know,
goodness.
yeah, yes, the one of the best ones, the UPC elenco, no sé cómo se dice elenco, the team, yeah, team. UPC team was a Peruvian folklore, yeah,
Wow.
where we do Afro-Peruvian music, tondero, marinera, everything, huaylas, all the Peruvian folklore. Yeah, I dance folklore too. I dance many rhythms, honestly.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I always dance. I always dance. But professionally, seriously, as a business, when I started Classe. Mhm.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And so during the midst of this abusive relationship, dance for you was, you said, like an escape, a hope. And when your friend was asking you to help you with the class, was that kind of that moment of like, this is my chance to get out of the relationship, or this is my chance to like explore this dance part, or was it kind of both?
Mm, The first one, I think, was an escape. But for me, it was just as I took it like as a distraction. Honestly,
Yeah,
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 just
of
like that.
course.
I wasn't planning to have Classe or like make a business or stay in the US at all.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, it was like, I already finished the bad store relationship, and but because of harassment, I wanted to go to another country to just
Mm,
relax and like, to escape basically.
heal.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I came here with a plan to just distract myself. So when my friend told me like, hey, you can do this, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I took it just as a hobby distraction. I always loved dancing, but no clue that I was going to do all this, you know?
Wow.
No clue, no clue at
Wow.
all.
It's so wild how these, it's every time I read books about like CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, they were just in the right place at the right time a lot of times, and almost seeking an opportunity and then just like grabbed onto it. And it sounds like that was kind of what happened for you.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
but that's the thing. What you just said is super important. You need to be always um, aware of the opportunities, and then you cannot overthink or like take forever to make a decision. You need to take the opportunities and take the
Mm.
risk that comes from with it if you believe in that opportunity, right? And I think the entrepreneur souls is are made it like that,
Yeah.
risk, not caring about risk. And then we are
Oh
just
yeah.
like, let's go, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, for me it's always like that. For me, since I'm 15 years old, I always trying to create businesses. I love it. And I had probably, I'm 33 years old right now, and I probably had like 10 businesses. And
Oh my goodness, tell me some of them. I'm curious. That is so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So, and not everything is like perfect, and you fail so
No.
many times, of course, but
Yeah.
you have to take the risk and believe in what you see, your vision, and push it. Um, um, And one of my businesses, a ver, wow, I had clothing line,
Oh
like
my
every
God, I
girl,
love that. That is so awesome. I love
when I
it.
was 15 years old, actually.
Wow.
But I don't buy and sell. I made the clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, I made the clothes.
Wow.
And I have my own fashion show, and I had a whole thing of dancers making a show while my models are like in the pasarela. Like it was the whole thing. Yes, yes.
That's
I had my
amazing.
own store also in one of the main and most expensive cities in districts in Lima, in my country,
Uh-huh.
Miraflores. The name of this district is Miraflores, and I had my store there, super nice. And yeah, it was great.
Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to hear like one or two more. This is so awesome. I didn't know this about you.
Yeah. Another thing is I used to sell CDs, CDs, disc
Yeah.
for
Yes.
music. Yeah,
Of
I used to sell
course.
that to. I used to get CDs from a company, wholesale, and I used to distribute
Yeah.
to different supermarkets.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to be. My business are always used to be selling, right?
Uh-huh.
Products, never services like today.
Right.
It's products, and I always distribute. I always make a huge things and distribute. I used to make it bigger. I don't like to just do a small thing. I like to like a huge risk, a huge everything, and then let's go, like move fast. And that was
Wow.
another business that I had. That these businesses I stopped because it was a lot of work, and I
Yeah.
had to start my college, so I couldn't handle both. So that's the
Right.
reason. That's the reason. Another thing is a dance studio, but I was the financial administrative team from this studio. I wasn't the instructor, the dancer, not at all, not the creative area in
Hmm.
Peru. And it's how I actually started to like see how that business work.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
Uh,
amazing. It was
see.
like it's so cool because it's almost like your life had kind of these little stepping stones, right? Getting you to class A. Like
Hmm.
that's amazing. So how long were you at the dance studio doing like the finance business admin?
Which one?
How long were
The
you
store?
at the studio doing like the finance administration?
Ah, mm, 5 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4, 3, no, 4 years
Oh, and this was during college or?
during college. Yes, during
Wow.
college. Yeah, 4 years. It was businesses. My first business was like when I was 14 or 15, I believe, and it was 1 year. It was the CDs,
Yeah.
and then I had a clothing like for like 2 years. At the same time, I was doing the studio because I the studio made it with my ex-boyfriend, the first boyfriend, and yeah, and yeah, it was kind of like together. I never had a break. I'm always like moving. I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about something new and something else. I cannot just let go something and then no. I'm always like, if it doesn't work, okay, let's go to the next one. Then I don't stay like sitting thinking about whatever. I think
Yeah.
yes, I have my time to think, but it's quickly, and
Yeah.
that's why it's back to back. Yeah, yeah.
That's so, yeah, there's this really cool book called E-Myth, and it argues that there's three different types of people in business. There's the entrepreneur, the technician, and the manager. And it sounds like you just thrive in the E category, the entrepreneur, where you see the big picture and it's like big ideas, and then you're also the technician where you can like go to work and just like work, 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 work. Does that sound
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah, 100%,
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
I'm definitely entrepreneur, 100%. Now I think I will say like I'm a business person,
yeah,
because I get already 10 years with Classe, but definitely I have entrepreneur soul. Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I'm always
absolutely.
creating. I'm always like thinking what's the next. Actually, even in my business today with Classe, I'm thinking like, okay, what is the next in using what we already have.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm always like thinking and moving forward, creating. Actually, I'm always thinking and create something new that I need a person who like la aterrice, no? Like a person who,
Manager, the organizer.
okay, this is
Yeah.
here, here, here. Yes,
Oh my, there's
So,
another book. Oh, I want to give you a book, a list of books. There's this other book called Rocket Fuel, and
mhm.
he's bestseller. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs, they have read this book and have scaled their business so much. So he talks about how Disney, Walt
Oh
Disney,
yeah,
yeah, he went bankrupt 3 times. It was
yeah.
because he just didn't know how to, he didn't have the skills of managing a business. And it wasn't until his brother, who was an accountant by passion, by skill, that was his skill. And he was like, listen, Walt, you need to stop running the business and start creating and being in your entrepreneurial place. And so the book argues that Walt Disney was the visionary and his brother was the integrator, the person that was like, nope, 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 yes, yes, yes. You can do that idea, not that idea, do, 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 do.
Hmm.
And then like organize it. And now it's Walt Disney, the Disney that we know, because he had those two, that partnership. And the same with Amazon, Apple, like there's so many examples of that integrator visionary that I think you'd love that book. I think you would love it. I loved
You
it. I
know,
was
I
like,
heard I read all these stories. Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'm like that creative, and I'm like always thinking, and actually, well, before it was, well, you know Terry,
yeah.
esto, before it was like the person who like brings all the ideas, tools, and everything. The first 5 years actually was by myself, but it's
Uh,
impossible to do everything by yourself, especially when a company is growing up so much, you know.
right,
Like, so
right.
Classe grew like in 1 2 years. It was like from nothing to be one of Classe was considered, or yeah, was considered after 2 years of being created, one of the best companies in the whole DMV. So
Ooh,
it grew up
congrats.
so
That's
fast.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it grew up so fast. And actually, I used to work like 24/7, like 100%,
I
like
believe you.
24/7.
I've seen
I
it.
didn't sleep. Yeah, I didn't sleep and everything. So I was killing myself. And then Terry, like after 5 years,
Uh,
he um he said like, okay, let me help. And
yeah.
then he was organizing the finances and taking care of the accounting. And then he was saying like, okay, Linda, I think this is too much. Okay, no, this is good. Okay, no, like you just said, like Disney. So
Cool.
then we
Wow.
we started to have our own space in Tyson's, and then
Yeah.
we had our app, and then everything was like better
Yeah.
organized while I was still creating the other part, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely you need someone who like yeah, organize the admin part, you know.
That's so cool. So was it hard for you to kind of, because I feel like, at least I'll speak for myself, like when I'm working on a project or some kind of business or some kind of anything, it's kind of feels like a baby a little bit. Like it's like, no, it's mine. Like it's my baby, it's mine. Was it hard for you to kind of share Class A in that way, where it's like it's hard to let people take responsibility for something that's so precious and your passion? Was that a hard transition for you?
Yes, but not in the way to be overprotected, in the way to trust that people will do their job.
Oh, for
Because for
sure.
me, the way, yeah, I mean, in my um ideas, I think a business won't work if you always try to do everything right, or if you actually,
Mm,
as a business owner, you cannot think like, okay, I start this project and it's mine, and I get stuck because with the idea of it's mine, and I keep pushing even it doesn't work, or keep pushing when you know that you need help, that you cannot get stuck like that. So I always think like, okay, if it's working, and if it's okay that you need help because it's growing. So, okay,
mm,
yes, let's start to give, delegate. That's the word in English,
yeah.
delegate. No, as look for people who you can trust, and people who has the skills for the things that you actually need, and like collaborators, not just help, free help, actually collaborators, because your business is growing. So that's what happened, for example, with Terry.
Mhm.
Is and before when I was, yeah, of course, when I was studying with Classe, after 2 years, I started to need help because it was growing. And for me, it was hard to find people who I can trust that they can do their job. But actually, I wanted. It's not like I was like protecting in the way that I don't want to work with anyone. It's like it's hard for me to work with people who is not proactive, or they are like who don't actually do their job quickly, because Haley, you know me as a dancer, but as a business owner, I'm different. I'm
Mm,
so two different personalities. With the admin part, I'm like, let's go. This is the task. Let's move fast. You have this due date. Let's do this quickly. Vamos, blah, 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 blah. Because it's the way that I am with myself. You know.
mhm.
And but it's hard to find people who you can trust, people who you can trust information, trust that they can do their job, people who can be proactive. That's the hard part for me,
Yeah.
honestly. But definitely,
Yeah.
I'm always open to like a work with people. Yes,
Hmm.
because it's no way that there is no way that you can keep growing by keeping your project just with yourself. No.
So true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that's the biggest struggle that you've had growing Class A or just having Class A is finding the right people? Is that kind of like the biggest struggle?
Yeah. One of them. Yeah, there are
Okay.
many because as a business owner, you're gonna find so many in finances, in organization, admin, esto, trust. Yeah, many. There are many. But even today, class A grew up a lot, and for me, it's so hard to find the right people to work in the admin, finances. Um, yeah, sí, super hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I always, because I've been interviewing, quite a bit of business owners, and that seems to be the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge, and if you have the right people, and then having them stay. So it's like finding the right people. Okay, now you found the right people, and then they might go and do their own passions and their own things, and you're like, no. So it's like there's kind of a trifecta a little bit where it's like, okay, but how do we keep them? Okay, but now how do we find them? So it's like a little dance.
Yeah. So I know what you're saying in the beginning, like I will say in the after to have 5 years of yeah, the fifth year of class A, I'll say that for me was kind of hard um, to find the right people because I have the mentality of like I want these people to stay with me. But
Hmm.
then yes, they grow, right, and they want something else for themselves and they leave, and then I struggle because no, in the maybe in the emotional part more. But then I changed my mind to be actually a businesswoman and thinking like if the if your own kids grow up and they leave, how the collaborators won't do that. So
Yeah.
actually thinking like that, I was um, making a plan for my collaborators. So it's like levels of grow in my company.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Which one create motivation for them to stay and to
Yeah,
achieve each goal, you know? And at
right.
the end of the day, I know that collaborators always will leave when they feel like they have a better proposal. So I'm
Mm,
always keeping in mind, okay, I just want they feel comfortable in the company, have stone goals to achieve, and yeah, basically like that, and always having the mentality of like there are possibilities that they leave. So I'm always thinking about plan B, basically.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't get stuck with any idea of keeping collaborators with me.
Right.
For me, is not the end part of our collab. I think for me is the beginning of it. Like, can I trust my collaborators? Are they gonna do their job? Are they good in the during training?
Mm,
Because the middle part is easy when they already got a job. If they leave, I wish them the best. if they, because you don't want to keep collaborators that are not happy in your place, or maybe they don't align with your own goals. So
Yeah,
so no, so the struggle will be in to find people who actually do their job, basically. To
right.
maintain is easy,
Oh, okay.
or if not, it's okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense actually. So you've been able to figure out how to help maintain once you find the trustworthy people because you've learned and created levels in your business. That's so cool.
Mm.
Yeah. I used to, it reminds me of I had an In-N-Out job. Have you ever had an In-N-Out burger?
And a burger, no.
No, it's a West Coast thing, but they do that same thing in their own business. They are like a multi-billion dollar private company, and they make just burgers and fries and shakes. Like it's so amazing though. It's high quality, and they do that same thing. They have like level one, level two, and it's so weird. Like when you're working there, it's like high productivity, but it's this culture of like let's collaborate, let's make it seamless, let's make everyone happy. It's so fun. And I think that there's something about the human mind that desires growth, that desires progression. And so
Yeah.
having that in within your business, I think is genius.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, so let's be focused on your goals, right? As a business, what are your goals? It depends on the goals. Is you're gonna decide what kind of people you want in that environment, right? Even as a client, even as a dancer. So it depends of all that. Then you're gonna give them, yeah, exactly, goals. If the people is attract and the people wants to achieve the goal, the next goal means like they're hardworking people. That's the people that you want to keep. So
Mm,
and they're gonna stay if you give them that. If you see that the people just leave because they don't want that much less to work, for me it's not a problem because that's not actually my target. You know what
right.
I mean? And in the case of my collaborators, the same thing. So for example, in my team, and you know this, now we have a levels for my dancers, right? You are a part of the team, then you
Mhm.
can train as an instructor. You have the invitation to be part of the high level dance to become an instructor. So now we are creating more stuff so they can keep motivation, right?
Yeah,
To
right.
keep leveling up in the studio, so they can stay, right? If they think like they already achieved all the goals, I mean, I'm happy I accept whatever decision they have. But
Yeah.
that's the strategy, basically, right? So, and you want that kind of collaborators or clients or everything. So, yeah.
That's so cool. So you were talking about goals. I'm curious in the new year for 2025, where do you see like what are your goals for Class A? What are you envisioning for the future?
Ah, but I wanted to tell you
Oh
something
yeah.
about before I go to the other question. So about another thing for the collaborators. So the last year, for example, I would struggle a lot to find an assistant, for example.
Hmm.
I mean, even today, I just actually I fired two assistants.
Wow. Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that, right? If it's
Yeah,
not a match. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
hard. That's the biggest struggle for a business owner,
Yeah.
because you to find the people who wants to like actually work passionate, right, and
Yeah.
proactively.
Yeah.
But always you're gonna be always changing, and you have to be positive to those changes, basically, and I try to move on. So it's gonna happen always.
Yeah.
Not get stuck in those feelings.
I'm so
Um,
glad you shared that. I want to kind of piggyback off that comment. Because I've heard this before. My dad, he runs like a fish company in California, and he told me about a fire he had to do and how it was like really emotional for him. And he's like, I fired people before, but this one fire was like really hard for me. Have you had that experience where it was like, yeah, like of course it's uncomfortable, it's awkward, it's like, ugh. What's kind of like how do you kind of work yourself the courage? How do you handle those situations?
Oh my God. Oof. This is hard. Yeah.
So
Oh,
hard. So
that's so
hard.
hard. To honestly to fire a collaborator in the admin area is not that hard. I mean, I would say it's hard, but it's not that emotional because at the end of the day, you in the admin area is like more about like facts, right? You didn't accomplish these tasks.
Mm,
You are not doing your job how it is. You give a time frame for like or opportunities. You give opportunities. People is not responding. So these are the facts. Thank you so much. I wish you the best. This is not wanna work.
yeah.
Right? Is like that, simple like that. When it's a dancer, an instructor or dancer, which one is another part of the business, that's really emotional because dance is like passion, feelings, emotions,
Wow.
involves more than the admin area. And this is so hard because for a fish company or for a, I don't know, accounting company, all these stuff is maybe more like admin organizational or but dance company involves a lot of feelings, emotions, it's
That's
expression.
so true.
It's
Yeah, you're right.
so
Yeah.
it's harder than any every other business because you have those two things. You have the admin and
Mm,
you have the dance, which one is the expression part. You know what I
right.
mean?
Or like the kind of like the practical things, right? Like showing up on time, making sure you're wearing the right clothes. So it's, yeah, that's, yeah. Keep going. Sorry. Interrupted you.
Yeah, no, yeah, yes, but notice this. So when the people join a dance class, dance team, is because they want to escape from their daily stress, daily activities, and they want to just like relax. So they don't want to like a pressure. But me as an instructor, I want to actually like push you to do things,
Right.
because
Right.
it's a physical activity. So it's like we need to find the balance, right? So it involves a lot of emotions. So whenever you have to fire a person who is in that path, right? And, it's harder than actually fire or I don't know, not fire, but maybe to remove a person from the classes, teams, or whatever is harder than admin.
Mm.
You
Is
understand
it,
me?
are you kind of thinking of like maybe they went to a higher level of a dance class and you're like, actually, we probably need to get you here first. Is that kind of what
Ye-
you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, because you want them happy. Or if it's a dance team, which one is a person who is part of your team, and you see them like always,
Yeah.
but this person maybe is disrespectful or doing things that they shouldn't do or things like that, and you have to remove them from the
Yeah.
team. That's another case, for example. Like so, it's extremely hard because
Yeah.
the emotions are involved, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
I actually did it like a few times, and it was like really, 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 really hard. Yeah, really emotional. But when the people don't align their own goals don't align with your goals, it's just about to communicate and explain that, hey, we want you to be happy, and this is not aligning with your goals because you are not being like happy in this place, you are acting this way, da, da, da. Find a way in the assertive way to communicate, right, to fire or to remove these people from teams, these classes or whatever, right? But it's definitely super hard, and in every way to find collaborators or people who match the goals
Mhm.
is yeah, definitely hard. Yeah.
I want to dig a little deeper. So, can you, I mean, of course, be vague as much as possible, but can you kind of walk us through maybe an experience where you had to do it and like how did you navigate those conversations or like what was that experience like?
Yeah, can choose one. A ver. For example, the first team of Class A, the first like ever, the first team of Class A, I had probably the best dancers in that team, the best dancers from DMV. Great dancer, amazing dancers, you know, and we actually were. like everybody, every event, clubs, everybody want us in their places. So
Wow.
everybody was calling us. And but there was a point that I felt disrespected, overwhelmed. People weren't listening to me. You know, dancers sometimes their ego is normal. It's really common. You know, dancer is in the spotlight. Sometimes without noticing, their ego can like fly. It happened to me too, right? Um, and um, and sometimes the lack of awareness can make the people sometimes to respect their director. So I was feeling that way, and I was talking with the people once, like twice, three times, four times, five times, and they weren't listening to me. I didn't have the first year of class. I didn't have the experience that I have today, so I couldn't like make them understand. So I said, okay, let's split. Thank you so much your for your participation in this team. I appreciate everything. Right? I wish them the best, and I decided to just like remove everybody. Actually, like
Whoa. So you removed the
everybody,
whole team.
the whole team, and they
Wow.
made a new auditions for a new team. You know, and then that experience, for example, it taught me that we don't need like great dancers in a team or dance class. We
Yeah.
just need people who is willing to work hard. You know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, because sometimes dancers or directors can think, oh, this person is talented. I want in my team this person. Now that experience taught me that we don't need that like just talented people. We need people who want to work, who are effort,
Yeah.
consistent people, and then you can
Yes.
make a dancer that after that, you know. So I changed my mind after that, and that's one experience. Another
Well,
experience.
can I touch in on that one? So you had like it sounds like many conversations with everyone on the team, maybe saying like if this doesn't improve, this is a consequence. And then when you finally said, I'm canceling this team, what was their reaction? What was there any backlash? Was there any what happened after that?
Honestly, it happened like so many years ago, so I don't remember very well.
Yeah.
No, I think they were, of course, they were uncomfortable. No, of course,
Yeah.
they were like talking a little bit, and some drama happened around. Probably, honestly, I don't remember details, but
Yeah.
like you just said in the beginning of this interview, for me, I ignore. I just walk. I just move forward, and I don't pay attention. So that's why I don't remember very well. But probably their attitude was like uncomfortable a little bit. Yeah, and some drama around. But uh,
Yeah. For you, maybe for you it wasn't negative enough for because of what you were really wanting, right? It wasn't it didn't capture your attention enough to where you would like maybe decide to take a different route or to take back that decision. It was like, no, that's the right decision, especially now knowing how you reacted. Was it kind of something like that?
I mean, no, at that time, it was the end of my world. At that time, I was crying every day. I was
Yeah.
feeling so hurt. I thought, okay, I will stop dancing. This is not for me.
Wow.
So I was sometimes I also started to blame people instead like actually seeing how is my leadership. Also, but then I analyzed the situation, and I learned. I improved also as a leader, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time was the end of the world, yeah, for me, because
Mm.
I also remember what I said in the beginning. I mean, clase for me is not just a business or dance studio. For me, is my everything. So even with more reason in the first year, I felt like these people were my family. I always struggle with the separation between business and friendships. When
It's tough.
yeah, it's really tough. And in the
Yeah.
first year, I really thought they were my best friends, my
Mm.
family. My whole family, my real family is in Peru. So I was alone here, and when had to separate and I go away of these people, for me was the end of the world. I thought they were my sisters and brothers, basically. So yeah, but then after that, I had many experiences like that, honestly, that I learned that I have to separate business from friendship. Like you can be nice with the people, people can be nice with you, but every person will always care about themselves, and people will always people can be good people, right? But it doesn't mean that they are your family. Family is another level, and I have to learn to separate. So yeah, I have been learning. I have been under training all these 10 years. So and yeah, yeah. So, but at that time, yes, was horrible, horrible, horrible.
Coming back to the situation where you had this first experience of like really setting a boundary, really, and it being just so difficult for you, and it felt like you were going to quit Class A. What made you not quit?
Okay, if I tell you all the experiences that I had to actually that made me feel like I had to quit, you will cry in this interview. I'm trying to be like not that dramatic.
No,
There are
share what you feel
many.
comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have so many. But what doesn't make me quit is that the way that I am. I don't like to give up. And when the things turn more like challenging, like my personality is like, oh, fuck this. Sorry the word, okay? But I'm
Yeah,
always
go for it.
no, this is my vision. I'm faithful to my vision. I know this is gonna work. I and also I have this intuition. Like honestly, through the years, I think like my intuition is really good. God gave me this skill to be honest. But I always
Wow.
calculate things. I calculate risk, have intuition, I have vision, and I'm like, no, nothing's gonna make me quit. I have to go. Like even I'm bleeding, crying, whatever, I continue walking. Like I move forward.
Wow.
So in my vocabulary doesn't exist this phrase give up. No, can't. Like one time I was talking with one of the people that I consider my mentor, my mentors, and then this person told me I was thinking like, but how I was asking actually, how can I do this? How can I make this work? How da, 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 da. And then this person told me like, what if you don't if you don't do it? What if you just stop it? And that's another option. And then I was like, yeah, that sounds very logical, but I don't have it in my mind. That I don't have it here. I don't think that way. What if you just don't do it? No, there is no way. What if you do it, you take the risk, you work harder, and you make it work? That's what I think.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't you also think, I think that sometimes, if I can play devil's advocate, I
Yeah.
think sometimes I like to think of the story of Honda. Have you ever heard of Honda and him creating the piston in the car that we know as Honda today? He wanted to create this piston for an engine that was the best that there has ever been. And there was wars, there was all like he got rejected from Toyota, like he had all these crazy life things and he just had to navigate a little bit. So like it wasn't that he stopped. It was just like it was a pivot a little bit. So he worked on electric bicycle while there was the war to create revenue for the piston. So it's like just like pivoting a little bit. Do you think maybe sometimes you might be like thinking this one thing has to work, but maybe it just requires a pivot to get to the ultimate goal?
Yeah, yeah, but it doesn't require to give up, right?
I see. You're not giving up on the bigger picture, but you're fine to give up on like little projects here and there.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
to find ways to make it work. Exactly.
The big
Yeah,
picture. But like the
exactly.
little projects, it's okay to give up on those.
Yeah, yeah, you can stop some things, of course. You don't get stuck in little projects. No. It's for the bigger picture always.
Yeah, I
You
see
know?
what you're saying.
Okay. And
Yeah.
also, and if you All this if you believe in what you are working on. If you know that that's gonna
Mm,
work,
yeah.
makes sense. Because if you have an idea, tomorrow I want to create a company of, I don't know, selling cups, whatever. Does it gonna work? Am I passionate about it? I don't have idea. Should I work 24/7 in this idea that I don't have ideas if it's gonna work? I'm not passionate, da, da, da. I mean, that's not good, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
I
if
agree.
but if I know that is gonna work, people like what I'm doing. It's already success in many ways. And this little project is not working. Why I will give up the whole thing for it, you know? Like
Yeah,
you keep working hard in the big picture and like find ways to get there, you know? That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Uh-huh. So yeah, I had many moments that I wanted to give up because the stress, the overwhelming, and people in business sometimes is really really mean, and at the end of the day, I'm a woman and I'm emotional.
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, but the mentality is always to not give up on things that you believe, and on things that you see already are working. And yeah, yeah, definitely like that is my way to think. So chances to quit, yes. Uh, do I want to? Maybe yes, maybe no, but my personality don't allow me. So well, let's continue.
Yeah. So maybe the ideas of quitting come to your head, but like the deeper you, the real you is like, no way, that
Yeah,
word quit or give up doesn't exist. So it's like kind of that secondary voice that's like more powerful.
yeah, yes, yes. And not talking about examples for him. For example, do you know Inca Cola?
Inca Cola. Yeah, yeah, the
The
Peruvian drink.
Peruvian drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So of course, Coke,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. Okay.
Yeah.
So Coca-Cola is really powerful around the
Oh,
world.
yes.
Yeah, this is the first soda around the world, right?
Right.
Like in every country is the main soda,
Right.
right? But when Coca-Cola went to Peru, because Peruvians are really proud of our culture, right? Of
Yeah.
our things, our food and drinks. So when Coca-Cola went to Peru, Coca-Cola went with the attitude of like, oh, we're the best one around the world. We are gonna kill it here, da, 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 right? And Coca-Cola was destroyed by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola couldn't believe it. They lost their
Wow.
mind. So at some point, while Inca Cola was doing their normal process to distribute the sodas around the country, Coca-Cola made a plan to destroy the trucks, the cars,
Oh, wow.
trucks of Inca Cola to literally like destroy the company so Coca-Cola can be the best company in the country.
Whoa.
It was like
Yeah.
a really like uh,
Vicious.
yeah, yeah, they started they used ¿cómo se dice? How can I say this in English? This strategy. My God, I forgot the name. Well, I don't know how to say this in English, but they were like using like no legal things to actually against Inca Cola, right?
Yeah, yeah. Illegal. Yeah, yeah.
It was illegal. Like they were
Uh-huh.
literally contracting, hiring people to sabotage the distribution of Inca Cola, no?
Mm-hmm. That's terrible.
And
Yeah.
uh-huh. But what Inca Cola did, Inca Cola didn't care. Inca Cola created new process, new things, and they still were the best one in Peru, right? And at some point, Coca-Cola didn't know how to actually against Inca Cola. Even they tried many ways, because Inca Cola is part of our culture, so Coca-Cola couldn't destroy that, right? In Peru, and um, and they finally offered money to Inca Cola to buy their company.
Wow.
I don't think Inca Cola gave up, but Inca Cola accept the offer because Coca-Cola like literally offered like 5 times more the value of the company at that time.
Right.
So I would accept it too, you
Yeah.
know. But in that case, I think is not giving up. It's just because they were fighting back and forth, right? But that's not giving up. I think like it was a good business, right? And the owner
Mm-hmm.
of Coca-Cola has another company now, right? So like two or three more companies after they accept the money, you know? And
Wow.
anyways, Coca-Cola is the best brand, the best soda in Peru. Even Coca-Cola is there. So Coca-Cola accepted and Coca-Cola preferred to buy the brand. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. Yeah.
So what I'm telling you is like I think I have many challenges in my career as a dancer and in this path of being a business owner of Classe Dance Company. I have so many challenges. Honestly, it's a headache, to keep a business, um, especially especially in dancing, when because dance is led by a man. The lead in dancing is a man, not
Right.
a. So, and I'm a woman trying to lead a dance company. So it's really hard, but I think I will keep pushing until I have maybe a good offer, until I see my company grow and being maybe a huge franchise or like a big, 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 you know. But definitely, I won't never like just close it or whatever. Even I have so many challenges, like uh, like Coca-Cola. It's like one great example. I always think about that, so that's why I mention it. Yeah, there is
I
no way
love
to give up.
I love that story because it's so close to home for you, and it's like you're Peruvian, Inca Kola is a Peruvian company, and just the resiliency that we were like talking about earlier, right? It's that
Yeah,
no matter what, I'm just gonna keep going. That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Find new ways, find new process. Yes, and yeah. I do believe that dancing is no like forever for me, for example, right? But I will make this company grow as much I can, and I believe in it, and like just like Coca-Cola, you know.
I love that. Tell me what you mean when you say I don't think dance me as a dancer is forever.
Yeah, because it's well, not really like dance. You can dance your whole life. You can dance forever. But in my case, I do want to build my, like also my family. I want to build things in a personal level. And I think I want to grow this company in the way that I find balance also for my personal life, right?
Hmm.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, I want to find a time for the other thing. And 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 basically I think at some point I will maybe no never close Class A, but maybe I will sell a franchise or maybe I will sell the company or something like that. I'm like thinking the future, super future,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Never ever um, closing, companies, my company, even the challenges that I'm living like even today. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, because I feel like sometimes as business owners, it's like the business owns you and not that you own the business, where it's you can totally leave and it functions on its own.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely Case had my time 24/7 for the last 10 years for real.
Yeah.
And I never took care of my actually personal life. And
Hmm.
now I'm in that moment that I actually want to take care of it because also Case might be able to work by itself. Soon I can see it. So that's why I'm working even harder to make that happen with that vision, right? But definitely I want to make it big in the way that it runs by itself, like I said, And if at some point it's just because definitely has a really nice system. My company has a really, really nice system. And 2025 is gonna be like even like better, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm so excited for it, by the way. And that I'm thinking in the future, in a few years, I think like I can make it like a franchise or I can sell it to like a bigger companies because I feel like Classe has a unique product in the Latin world, and so I can actually take care of my personal life, or if I don't find a way to find a balance, but I'm working on it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes, yes. But there is way to actually let your business run by itself, so it doesn't own you, like you just said. So it's just like to work thinking about it.
Yeah. Is that so in 2025 or even in 2024 has that kind of been your shift? Is like how do
Oh yeah,
I want to
2024.
take ownership of the balance?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 2024. I was working for it. That's why 2025 came. It is gonna work. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
How did you decide or what was kind of the moment where you were like, "Oh, this is enough. Like it's not balancing."
When I got sick, when I got sick, when because like I said, I work 24/7 and I want this dream happen and work correctly by itself. And I'm always giving my everything to Class A. But I think it was like so long that my body couldn't handle anymore. So my legs weren't working correctly. My
I saw a story or two about that, but I didn't know the details.
Yeah, I will tell you more about it. Yeah, I know I got really sick. My circulation didn't work correctly. My blood wasn't coming up to my heart and my head. Yeah, the amount of stress without realizing it, it was a lot. So my cortisol level were too high that I was actually like I was I against myself, and yeah, my at some point my body didn't work and I had like a respiratory failure.
Wow.
And yeah, and in that time after that, I thought like, okay, you know what? You need to find balance. You need to have a time to breathe, to just think to get a coffee and think about your stuff because I used to like wake up, I used to like go to the gym, train really hard, I used to have like so many muscles, like huge muscles, you know. Yeah, I used to work out like super intense, like Harris method, Harris or whatever. What is like
Oh, Tennyson?
Henderson? Yes. Yeah, like him. I used to work out super hard. But I used to work out in the morning, like dance classes during the day, private classes, then training at night, dance training at night, then some admin more, some admin activities at night also. So I wasn't resting correctly. I was
Mhm.
only on my legs. My legs never were up, like to allow the blood coming up. So I literally damaged my veins on my legs.
Wow.
And the stress for all the activities were too much for so long. And yeah, my body stopped. So after that, I said, like, you need time to just walk, to drink a coffee. You need like to relax, find balance. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So when you say your body stopped, what does that mean? You had respiratory failure where you like collapse or what does that even mean?
Yeah, yeah, I collapsed. I literally fell, and my body started to create like many hives from like
On your
from
skin?
on my skin from nothing. I was just driving, and randomly my skin started to like heat. It was like hot, 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 like
Wow.
horrible. I thought I had fever, and then I had so many hives in my face, my arms, my thighs, inner thighs, even my toes, like hives everything in random areas. Like it was horrible, and then
Mm.
it was hard for me to breathe. Um, it was yeah, and I failed.
Oh
uh,
my, and this is while you were driving?
I was driving when
Oh,
it started. Then at 3 a.m. when I was at home, I fell.
yeah.
And then a friend literally saved my life. Actually, many friends because I call all my doctor's friends. One person like gave me a pills, is prescription pills. Esto, another person sent me pills also, but another person showed up in my house, and I actually put a shot of cortisol that I could
Oh,
actually breathe again.
oh
I
my
could breathe
God.
again. And yeah, yeah, it's how I actually um, come back to life, literally. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was in
Linda,
2000.
oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, and actually, like 2 days later, I had an event in salsa room, and I show up in salsa room with steel hives. I had to work. And yeah, it was crazy. I had to work. Yeah. But after that was when I was like, okay, you cannot do that. You just like almost die, you know? And
Yeah,
so I was like, okay, no, if I want my business work, if I want all this happen, so you need to take care of yourself. You
yeah.
know, nothing is gonna work if you don't take care of yourself. And actually after that, because the cortisol, change all your system,
Hormones,
hormones and
yeah.
everything. Exactly. So after that, my whole body changed. It changed completely. So the way that I breathe, the way that I used to, the way that my blood circulate, the way that my skin was, like everything changed. Everything really changed. So I couldn't go to the gym anymore. I couldn't. I danced more than 2 hours because my legs were too heavy. I started to retain so much liquid
Water?
water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was many changes in my body. So it was a really, really tough process because I was thinking, okay, do you have to do something with your health to be able to work? I couldn't work. Even I was pushing myself, I couldn't, couldn't. I was always feeling like dizzy. Legs are extremely heavy. Like I said, like the liquid in my legs were like putting pressure on my knees. My bones were hurting. It was like terrible. Yes, terrible, terrible. So yeah, that's why I
And
decided to find balance.
and the doctors were saying it was stress related that caused the respiratory failure.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
the
That's
stress.
wild.
The stress.
So it's kind of interesting because I feel like you are such an active person. Like you would go, go to the gym a lot, and that wasn't a stress reliever for you, or I'm just,
Yes, yes, of course. For a normal person, yes, the gym will be a stress relief. Relief is the word.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But for me was so much um physical activities every day plus
yeah. All
mental
the
mental
dancing.
stress because I also take care of the admin of the business,
Right,
plus emotional stress
right,
because the challenges that I live in the dance community, you know.
right.
So everything was like a lot, and plus personal stuff also, like everything
Yeah.
was like together for a long time. So yeah.
Have you found more techniques than just gym to help you manage stress now post this incident?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like just to make time for yourself. Like for example, to walk 1 hour a day,
Yeah.
breathe, inhale and exhale deeply for like 10 minutes. Like when you wake up, for example, to basically to change your whole habits in the morning helps
Mm,
a lot with your health and your stress relief. Yes, like to drink, for example, a hot water with lime and a little bit of inositol, for example, that actually helps a lot to balance your hormones as a woman, yeah. So, and those things and plus more. hmm Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Actually, the gym to carry weight, to carry weight actually stress out your body. You know that, right? Increase your cortisol even more to work out to carry weight.
Oh,
But
wow.
the gym, what helps is that with the circulation of your body. And then after the
Mm.
workout, what you have to do is a stretch and breathe, inhale and exhale deeply. So you educate your body that it's okay. Your body shouldn't be that stressed out because you lift weight. So you have to
Hmm.
calm down, and then your cortisol go down by stretching and breathing deeply. You know, those are, for
Yeah.
example, techniques. But working out can be a stress relief just if you do the right things before and after that session.
I feel like that's so important to know because like I think there's a lot of science that dance, exercise is a stress reliever, but there's also like if you do it too much and like you're saying like there's strategies and there's even ways that you can make those activities stressful. So that's so valuable. But I am amazed. We've been talking for over an hour and a half already, and I feel like we're wow, getting all tired. But to end the podcast, last question for someone who's an aspiring business owner, aspiring dancer, what advice would you give someone that's in that position?
A person who is not a business owner but wants to be.
They're like they want to be or they're
Ah,
thinking about it, but they're like, "Oh, like what do I need to know?" Or like what advice would you give someone like that?
I will tell them take a moment to talk with themselves, okay, because that's super important, and ask themselves what they want, how they want, where they want to be in certain time frame, okay, with this idea, and if they really believe in their project, their dream, or their whatever vision they have, to write those thoughts and to analyze risk around all those ideas, to basically brainstorm and have a conversation with themselves. I will give them that advice because it's super important to be clear about what we actually want and what is possible. It's super important to be realistic more than idealistic because entrepreneurs can be sometimes dreamers,
Oh yeah.
and that's completely fine if we can make it happen, if we put in action, you
Yeah.
know, yes, and if we see that if that can work. But also all this depends of what is the reality, what tools or sources we have, right, for it. So always sit to talk with themselves, to have time to have a conversation with themselves and ask all these questions,
I
basically.
love that. I love that. How and a follow-up question, how because I feel like for any entrepreneur or business owner, there is that amount of disbelief, right? So if they're like, Walt Disney, we could take him. It's like I like he believed in it, but there's probably those intrusive thoughts that are like, oh, like should I keep doing this? Like the self-doubt. So how would you answer that question where you're like, I believe in this, but there's parts of me that doesn't as well. So how would you answer? How would you give someone advice that thinks those things?
I believe in this, but to talk with another person about this project who is doubting on you, or what?
So
Repeat the
it's like it's
question.
the introspection. So within themselves, they've answered like I do believe in it, but there's a part of me that also doesn't. How would you help them with that?
Ah, which easy. You never ever make a decision like over fears or doubts.
Mm,
In the moment that you have a fear or doubt of something, forget about it. Take a minute thinking about another thing, okay? And then find another moment to actually make a decision if you want to continue or no. Because it's easy to give up when you have fears, you know. So just keep in mind, do not make a decision over fears. Yeah, fears or doubts. Yeah, yeah, never. Everything is possible, everything is possible. If you believe in it and if you find a way, if you talk to yourself and you actually see the risk, you know, how much work is going to require, the possibilities, the strength of your vision, the opportunities of your vision, the threats of your visions. If you see all this stuff and you put an action towards this, right? Um, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And in the middle, you have to accept that in the middle, you're going to have doubts and you're going to have moments that you're going to be scared, no, those fears. And that's okay. That's okay. So
Mhm.
just take a moment and don't make a decision, you know? So just be aware of it and just take a moment and just continue. But if
Oh,
you
so good.
yeah, but if you continue like not knowing where you are, I mean, that's not okay, right?
Yeah.
You continue being clear with the foundations.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That is such good advice. Linda, this was such a treat. I learned so much from you. I feel like inspired. I'm like, oh, I can do anything. And I know that people are gonna feel that same way. So thank you so much for your wisdom, for your experience, and the amazing impact you're making on the dance community and elsewhere with your dance and your business.
Thank you, Heidi. No, thank you for this moment. Thank you for being patient with my English,
Your
and
English is fine.
and for giving me the space to actually share the story of Classe
Yeah.
and the things that I learned from this amazing journey.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Okay, be honest with me. It's January 16th. We're 16 days into the new year. How are your New Year's resolutions doing so far? If you are like me and so many other people who in the past have set New Year's goals and then literally a few days later just don't do them, ignore them, or don't even have a plan or motivation to do them, I am here to help you. New Year's resolutions can be very frustrating and exhausting. I want you to crush the new year in 2025 and make it the best year yet. What I have is a free webinar that will show you all the tools that you need to make this year the best year yet. You guys, after watching this workshop, you're going to create lasting change, break free from old patterns, and have increased productivity if you apply all of these tools. Go ahead and click the link in the show notes to get the free webinar. I'll see you guys there.